Welcome to the Embrace the Face podcast, where we celebrate all things weird and wonderful. I'm Allie Anderson, your host, here to bring you high vibe content and interviews for your highest good in self-healing and ascension. May these episodes bring you all you need in each now, and I thank you for listening, as always. Beautiful souls, welcome to another episode of Embrace the Face, where today we are honoring Luna in Lunar Ceremonies for this beautiful full moon lunar eclipse in Virgo. If you didn't see the moon, even yesterday and the day before in the sky during the day, it was incredible and beautiful. And she's just, every time I look at Luna, it's just, like magical. So I hope that you had the chance to take a peek. If you are in the New York metro area, the Eastern Standard Time, it peaked at 6:37 a.m. this morning. It's currently March 3rd, 3/3. So obviously I'm channeling the latest lunar ceremonies on the portal of 3/3. So what are we going to discuss today? I have so much that I want to talk about, but mostly I think that I'm going to discuss the fact that this full moon, while it's an eclipse, so it's going to bring those shadow sides to the surface, right? It's also an opportunity because this full moon is in Virgo, which is also, we have Mercury retrograde, right? So Mercury is home to the sixth house of health and routine. It is the house of work and what we do in our day-to-day and our rituals and how we care for ourselves, and Virgo's an earth sign. So I feel like, at least in my life, this has been a present theme. And as I've been posting and sharing, whether via social or blog or podcast or even my newsletter, if you haven't signed up for my newsletter, please do let me know and I would be happy to add you. So it's the very fact that this is a time while our shadow sides are coming through that it really is this opportune time to kind of start over, almost like we talked about the last episode of Lunar Ceremonies, the new moon in Aquarius, like a do-over. Well, that was all about imagination and, consciousness and raising the vibe of humanity. This current theme is more so about really getting a hold on what you know that you need to do for your body, mind, and soul to heal every single moment of every single day, to make every moment an opportunity, every now that opportunity for self-discovery and spiritual growth. And that is what I do. So today, obviously, I'm going to pull some cards. We have our Moonology deck, and it's interesting. So I recently posted a video of myself singing, and I love to sing. So I was singing my little heart out to We Are the Champions because that song is in my head. And what is that? That's a channeled message coming through, right? When you have a song stuck in your head, what is that message telling you? Who does it remind you of? So anyway, so I'm singing and I am trying to clear my throat chakra because it was the day Mercury went into retrograde. Again, in Pisces, so home to that intuition, right? So our intuition may be for me at least, having all these channeled downloads, creative ideas, these things that I want to share. But at the same time, my throat chakra, because Mercury is the planet of communication and expression, my throat chakra, like the day it went into retrograde, just kind of locked up. And I couldn't really I couldn't express via podcast. I could express on social media. I could express via writing or texting. I could have a conversation in person. But like any moment that I went to go sit down last week to podcast, to record, I couldn't do it. So I was like, you know what? This is not meant to be. I'm not going to push it. So here I am today, right? I'm showing up for Lunar Ceremonies. So anyway, with intuition, I posted that I basically was utilizing singing as my throat chakra healing energy. And normally every single day I do a throat chakra mantra. And this is really important, especially during Mercury retrograde, because again, Mercury is home to that expression and communication. So every single day when I'm doing my grounding, my prayers, my meditation, I always do the throat chakra mantra and mudra, the Hum mantra, and you interlace your hands. So if you're watching, you can see I'm just interlacing my fingers, my hands together, right? And I'm putting them up against my throat, and I'm taking just a nice deep breath in, visualizing this energy center. And then just as boisterous as you want to go, just hum, right? That opens up this energy center. And thank you for listening, by the way, to my ramblings. I have been talking with a friend about how we just constantly have ramblings and it takes me 5 minutes to tell a 30-second story. So this has always been the story of my life. So welcome. Anyway, so if you practice that, you will find. So I was even practicing that and I still couldn't. So I just listened to my intuition, knowing, that my intuition is everything, just as yours is everything, to guide you along the way. So just kind of reminding yourself that, like, okay, when I'm ready to express what is needed, then it will come in that now. My soul will know. Your soul always knows. So just trust that. Okay. So little few astrological tidbits about this current phase of Luna. And if you did not, at least here on Long Island, the eclipse was not visible because it was so cloudy out this morning. My son actually went outside to go see. He was going to report to me whether or not I should get out of bed and look at it. So we did not get a chance to see it. But if you did, I hope that you had an opportunity to take that moment to pause and just be one with the energy that was occurring. So, okay. Let's see what Luna has to offer us today in the Moonology deck. Last quarter moon in Cancer. Take a breather. I feel like I'm talking so fast today, so I need to take a breather. Cancer, a water sign, right? Just like Pisces. And with Mercury being retrograde in Pisces, Pisces being the water sign, home to our spirituality and our intuition. And the last quarter moon is a time to wind down, and it's that autumnal energy. It is that luteal phase energy where you need to listen to your body and you need to just slow down and rest and take a breather. This is something that, this is just a constant reminder that I give clients, family, friends, my own children, everybody. Take a breather. The breath is everything. And the breath, 3 deep breaths, signifies to your nervous system, your autonomic nervous system, that you are safe. So it's going to kind of bring you back to center, ground, connect, protect, right? So making sure that you are taking little micro moments throughout each and every day, even if you need to do it 100 times a day. I stop all the time. If I catch myself, clenching my jaw, or I catch my shoulders hunched up and I got to release them. I can tell, like, if I'm clamping down, being hard on my muscles, like I'm tightening. So like I have to like breathe and just focus on my body. And that's the somatics aspect of, shutting off the mind, opening the heart, right? When we go into meditation, that's the very, aspect and definition of meditation, is to shut off the mind and open the heart. And then when you start to, like, I can even notice now, like allowing my shoulders to relax as I'm bringing myself into my body, and I am allowing myself to just feel into my body where there is tension, breathing into those areas and letting that energy just dissipate and flow, alchemize, into gold and whatever you want to visualize as it's going away. And obviously, these are little micro moments to bring yourself to center and to be consciously present. However, when you get into that brainwave state, that theta brainwave state of like deep meditation, and you are then able to really tap into, like when I worked in the ketamine clinic and like they didn't have to meditate, the ketamine did it for them, bringing them to these memories, these past experiences, these essential, the root of their PTSD or depression, anxiety, whatever it may be, and really giving you an idea. And again, you can do this with psychedelics or without. So you have the option to go even deeper than those micro moments, is my point, that you can really feel into the body and feel into where you need to let go. And what is that part of your body telling you? Is there a memory associated with it? Is there a traumatic experience associated with what you are feeling in your body? And the body knows, and there is a book called The Body Keeps the Score. And there's so many books out there. And, they never taught you any of this in nursing school. I never once learned in Western nursing school that emotions are the cause of everything. And I worked in the ER, and I did hospice, and I even did research and education. In the research and education, that's where I I really started to learn about, I really started, things falling off my shelves on my desk. I really started to learn about energy. And as a Tai Chi instructor, what is Chi? Chi is energy and moving the body consciously with the breath, simultaneously with the breath. So these various practices can always keep you in flow, but truly it is about taking those micro moments, keeping the body moving, and doing what you know is good for you, good for your body, your physical body, your mind body, your soul body, your energetic body, everything, all of it, your very essence. Like, you came here to incarnate into this very vessel, this very being of your 3D physical body, and it really ultimately is your responsibility to take care of it. And I say that after like decades of just debauchery and doing things to my body and ingesting things that are just not really meant for the human body or the human experience, right? Because we are spiritual beings having this human experience. And every single thing that we do in life, every single person that we come across, whether it's for a second, a minute, an hour, a lifetime that you have them, they all teach us, everything teaches us a lesson. Every moment of every single day. And I truly honor that every moment of every single day, no matter how weird it gets, no matter how confusing it gets, no matter how hard it gets, scary it gets. And it's just a constant reminder that like this is just a journey that we need to remember. One, is also meant for fun and play. And two, is really meant to help you grow your soul. I tell my children all the time, my son is like having a 40-year-old roommate. He has lived many lifetimes and we talk about it. And since he was 3, I was just telling a friend this, that he used to tell us that he was from the future. And he was always obsessed with technology. If his phone would be on the red, like if it would go critically low, he would come up to you and he'd tell you, oh, that's so dangerous. You have to plug your phone in. Like the battery can't die. And he is just somebody who like, he's more responsible than my husband and I put together. And when it comes to really like deep diving into what it means to be able to, I don't even know what I'm talking about. That's terrible. What the hell was I talking about? This is so bad. Okay, what was I talking about? I was talking about, okay. I tell my kids all the time that I am here, like you might have more experience as a soul than I do, because I truly believe that my son does. Again, he's like a 40-year-old man in living in like this child's body, and again, more responsible than my husband and I put together. But it's the very fact that like I'm here to keep you safe, to help you grow, that's really what it's about. And when I started to see my kids as such, when I started to see them as souls, like, and I remember saying to my son once, like, you could have lived like 1,000 more lifetimes than me, but I'm sorry, like you chose me to be your mom. Whether or not you believe that to listeners, or whether or not my son believes that, like you chose this, and this is what you get. So I just have to keep you safe. I have to guide you along the way. I have to trust that I've given you the wisdom and knowledge and discernment to be able to make it on your own, God forbid, or when you get older, that you have a zest for life, that your chakra, your sacral chakra is spinning wide open. And that's what you want for your kids. You want your kids to have that zest for life. You want your kids to embody their highest timeline. And you want your kids to have faith, whether it's in God's source universe. So that's another thing. I'm an initiate of the Modern Mystery School International. So there's many locations. And when I became an initiate, you took this like long intensive workshop called Know Thyself. And I always say, when you know thyself, is to love thyself, is to heal thyself. So why not take the opportunity during these moments of life to really get to know yourself, to know how you tick, to know what your soul desires, to know what your soul needs. And this is what I do with clients all the time. We always deep dive into body, mind, and soul healing. So how can you tap into this highest timeline? How can you tap into this full moon energy? How can you tap into the 3-3 portal? How can you tap into each and every moment of every single day to do what is best for you when it comes to ingesting nutrition? Every single thing that you put in your mouth and you swallow and you eat to put into your body to be eventually excreted is either going to hinder or help your physical healing. And I've talked before in other episodes about telomeres and on your DNA, your genetic strands, where that's regeneration and you're actually healing your body versus and those strands, those genetic strands on our DNA, like little antennas, they grow, and that is longevity. That's what you see in the blue zones, the people who live to be centenarians, over 100 years old. Like they eat so well, whole foods, mostly plant-based, and it's just the way it should be for all humanity, right? Like it's the way we should all eat. It's the way that we need to return to our roots. That's the bottom line. What I'm getting, channeled energetically. And when you recognize that food has been, the obvious processed over the years, more chemicals, additives, preservatives put into your food. Are you consciously aware? Are you looking at labels? It used to be like very weird to look at labels, but now I see people in the grocery store all the time, like always looking at labels. And here's an example. My kids, if they want to bake, I make them bake with ingredients that are at home, right? I don't like to buy like they're always like, how come we never have cool snacks here? And it's just something that I've learned along my journey, healing gastroparesis, healing a ton of GI issues, healing my autonomic nervous system, just in general of healing my body, mind, and soul. Plastic and processed boxed foods are not the way to go. So I have changed my life while also trying to encourage my children to do the same by showing them, right? Like, so, and that's not to say when they leave the house, they do what they want. And like, we're not perfect, but my daughter wanted a funfetti cake. And I told her, we have all the ingredients here. We use einkorn flour. I have unrefined sugar. We have eggs. We have baking soda, everything that you need, right? We had the sprinkles, even though there's like carnauba wax and yellow number 5s and blue lake, whatever. So we were all laughing about that. And she made it. I tried it. I thought it was fucking delicious. My son, I think he said it was the bomb, or he said something, I don't know, some term in their language that they use as teenagers. If you're a parent of teens, you know what I mean. And she was like, it wasn't sweet enough. So what did I do? I gave in last night and I brought her to get the box one. I don't eat that, so I have no idea what it tastes like. And she wanted to bring it to all her friends. And she's very conscious, like she doesn't, binge on sugar like I have a history of doing. So I wasn't worried, but like it's just those very things of like teaching the next generation, right? While you yourself are being consciously aware of what you're putting in your body, teach your children well. And I think Willie Nelson said that. Teach your children well, parents. I can't remember off the top of my head. So yeah, I feel like the Virgo energy that's happening right now really is all about that. So like your physical nutrition, like some people are just all of a sudden like awakening to like, oh my God, what have I been doing for the latter 20 years? I need to get my shit together and stop eating like I'm eating and stop living like I'm living, especially a sedentary lifestyle. So going into that, movement medicine is key. Somatics involves a lot of movement of the body, a lot of shaking, a lot of just really letting loose. And whether you can literally be sitting and just rolling your shoulders and shaking your hands, and that is, releasing of energy. That is movement medicine. Versus if you are someone who is living a sedentary lifestyle, sitting on your computer Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, or sitting on a couch, doom scrolling for hours on end, you're not moving your body. And not even that, you're overstimulating your nervous system into a point of freeze that you've probably been holding your breath for so long you don't even realize it. And your jaw is probably clenched and you probably haven't eaten in how long. So not even realizing that you haven't moved, breathed, probably drank water or done any sort of anything that can help with healing, right? And keeping your body moving and flowing, and most importantly, your blood circulating to prevent any sort of stagnation or any risks of cardiovascular disease or anything like that. So movement is key. For me, every day I do sun salutation, which is a yoga flow, greeting the sun. And you can also do one in the evening, but I just tend to do the sun salutation. And I go to physical therapy twice a week. I work out pretty much like 3 to 4 other days a week. And I have a home gym, and I bought all the equipment that I have. And I'm here to tell you that even if you don't, if like, I am very blessed, I am very grateful to be able to have the equipment in my home, and then I can go to a gym if I want to, and physical therapy. And this keeps me going. I'm very blessed in that regard. But you don't even need equipment. You really don't. And there are so many things that you can do with objects in your home, even to help build strength and to help build balance and to keep your body moving. So, Virgo is kind of trying to tell you, like, enough with the excuses, right? And even I want to say that, of course. Like, my ego wants to tell you all listening, like, no more excuses, right? And I will say that I've been pretty good in my life lately in regards to that. And I am, waiting out this full moon eclipse energy to kind of dissipate a little bit before I embark on new endeavors. But I am really feeling like this full moon is kind of reorganizing my life. And I'm grateful for it. And I'm going with that flow. And I'm recognizing what isn't working and what is working and what I need to do and what I don't need to do in order to live in that balanced life in homeostasis, right? Of that nervous system state of rest and digest, rest and recovery, of being in flow, feeling grounded, feeling connected to your angels and guides, feeling connected to God's source universe, and feeling impenetrable, feeling protected and strong, and realizing that we all have a mission here on earth, and we're not in competition with one another, and we're all here just trying to do our thing. And if you're listening, odds are you're very self-aware and an enlightened being, and thank you always for listening. But the idea is that you are self-aware enough to recognize the work that you need to do for this planet. Yet, are you self-aware enough to implement it all into your own life every single day? I read something recently that said, okay, so for example, ice cream. Like, I have struggled with ice cream. It's a childhood emotional rooted issue, to be honest. And when I stopped drinking, ice cream became my sugar replacement. And I haven't had ice cream in a while. I don't even know, probably like 2 weeks maybe. And which is a lot for me. Like, I ebb and flow, right? And my point is that when I first recognized that sugar was my vice, I really had to like own that. And I had to be like, okay, this is not working. And as much as I miss it, it's not something that benefits me. And that's a huge thing in quantum healing too. What is a benefit to you? How does that benefit you from holding on to that addiction or that habit? Or how is that benefiting you in this life? Is it benefiting you? Is it something that you need to consider letting go of? And don't think that, oh my God, today is the full moon, it's 3/3, and maybe you're not listening to this for another few days after. Like, this can be any day, any moment, any time of your life, recognizing what is not benefiting you any longer and what can you do about it. And that's what this full moon energy is all about. And I hope that you spend it singing and dancing and moving and reorganizing your cabinets and your minds and your brain, and rewiring that brain to the highest frequency that you know it to be, and reminding yourself that you are capable. And if this is a rough time for you, this is a rough time in general. Actually, I probably should talk about that. With everything going on in the world right now, it's important that you hold this frequency for yourself, that you do these things for yourself, because this is you playing your part. This is you becoming more self-aware each and every moment of every single day about what this planet truly needs. And it literally starts with you. And it starts with the few dozen people that listen to each episode every single week that I'm so grateful for. It's up to you to play your part, to do your part. And that literally starts with the little daily, like, that seem to be mundane routines for you. Like, literally, like, what you eat, what you do each day for exercise, how you live your life, how you give back, how are you of service to humanity. Like, if enough people just focused on that, then we would literally raise the vibe of humanity, the frequency of humanity even more, of this earth, of Mother Gaia. And it's almost like a quantum leap, like collapsing timelines. Like we can skip so much of the bullshit and the violence. And I'm not even gonna, that's a whole nother episode to talk about Albert Einstein's being a militant pacifist and not, believing in this type of behavior. And he predicted this type of behavior back in the 40s. This is this is what's occurring. So can we put all this bullshit behind us and collapse this timeline and move into that more ascended version of who we all know ourselves to be? Thank you for listening and tuning in. Please do check out March Magic I have going on. Tons of specials, over 50% off of my healing energy services and psychic readings. So please do check that out. Check out the Sacred Box that is now available. This month's theme is rebirth, and the oil is calendula. So there's a lot of goodies in there, a lot of things, sensual, somatic, and metaphysical goodies for your highest good. So thank you guys for tuning in. Peace out and God bless.